Spring Split 2022. I'm Mazel, joined by Cubby and Magical yet again. Likely duo coming in here, and we have a series ahead of us that is pretty hype. Just saying. 100 Thieves Academy taking on Cloud9 Academy in our next bout. It's sure to be a fun one.
I always get excited when these two teams meet. It's one that two of the stronger orgs when it comes to developing talent that we have had historically in NA. And it's always fun because Copy versus Kenvi. I mean, these guys played together on 100 Next. Watching them go toe-to-toe now is always really entertaining for me. And we're going to have to see if C9 can keep up their hot streak, because ever since Malice joined, they're 9-3, and that includes the disastrous 0-2 they had against Golden Guardians. So C9 have been on fire of late.
Well, the big thing for me is the fact that these two teams technically haven't faced each other. The last time two teams faced off was back in week 2, before Cloud9 had filled out their roster, as you see below. They had a sub top laner, sub jungle, sub support. Now they have the full team that they initially had wanted for Academy here, facing off against 100 Thieves.
And with the sub squad, C9 2-0'd, which I know that Busio wasn't here yet, but still, that was a wild result that we had in Academy. So I know that 100A might want revenge for that 0-2.
Yeah, just a little bit, right? And when we take a look over at the other side of that 100 Thieves roster, I'm just saying, Kenvi's still looking strong as ever, man. The GOAT's doing just fine, but the rest of the team itself has been really coming alive. The Wixie-Busio combo, you've already been kind of foreshadowing. Jimmy in the mid lane, not too shabby himself. And Gamsu with the carry performances on the Jaces, things along those lines. It's actually been really impressive.
It's been impressive, but I still am a little worried. We've seen some shaky rounds from 100, where there's certain games that we expect them to win. I think yesterday, going 1-1 against TSM Academy, the bottom of the barrel team that we have at the moment in Academy. That was a series that we expected to get 2-0 for 100 Thieves. Well played by TSM Academy. But 100 Thieves have been, I said it yesterday, counter logic kind of team. They win some games where you're like, oh, I didn't expect them to win. But then they lose other ones, as you had talked about before, Cubby, losing to the sub-squad of Cloud9 Academy back in week 2.
And I think a part of it is just trying to incorporate like some of the newer members that they have. Of course, Wixie Busio. It is their first split in Academy. They have been destroying some 2v2s. But I did tease earlier, we wanted to highlight Kenvi versus Copy. And part of the reason of this is that this goes back a while. I mean, this clip that you're seeing on your screen, this is a Kenvi pentakill from 2020 in Challengers Uprising, an amateur league that doesn't even exist anymore. Kenvi and Copy have been teammates. They made it to scouting grounds together. There's a lot of history between these players. And I think that the biggest highlight or the most interesting talking point now is that it feels like for the first time, Copy isn't living in the shadow of Kenvi. Kenvi has always been one of the top prospects that we have in NA, has always been talked about as like the future of the jungle. And now Copy, he started to play a bit better for himself on C9 Academy, and he's starting to make some waves as well as someone that could step up and be someone that can be a native LCS mid in the future.
And this is just a highlight of more some Kenvi plays there with his teammates backing him up, but against Copy themselves. And you know, you were highlighting Copy, so I feel like we've given a decent enough time to Kenvi, you know, one of the mainstay Academy junglers here in the scene. But on the other side, Copy himself, this year, I just feel like has been solidifying that name that we started to see last year.
Well, and that's the big thing, right? Is that this feels like it's Copy's year. And Cubby, you illustrated it perfectly. It always lived in the shadow of Kenvi. But now he is the carry. He's the one making these pop-off plays. Yesterday, the dive where he went all the way under, like, what, inhibitor when all 3 turrets still stood in his way. Hear how he's able to kite back constantly for the team. Finds these picks, finds these plays to set up the rest of the team. He's still playing that roaming style that we saw last year and even years previous, but he's also bringing a far stronger carry potential in most of these games where he's just willing to risk some plays like that, obviously.
What in tarnation?
Really, yeah, we got to get back on the range for that one. But it's still just impressive to see this growth in this year from Copy.
And I mean, I don't know if it's in there, but yeah, like literally he went under 3 towers yesterday. I mean, I'm just saying, like, the guy's a menace, and he has been a very strong middle piece to Cloud9. And I feel like a lot of the strength that Cloud9 is having is because you do have that stability in the mid lane, and they can fluctuate around it, bringing Malice in, having the kind of shake up in the bot lane, and King having a little bit of a different feel this time around. I think it enables a lot of the program that Cloud9 want to have.
This is what I find so interesting about this matchup is that I think that both these teams like match up into each other like really interestingly, in the sense that we have Malice going up against Kenvi. I know that we have a
Mhm.
lot of Malice fans in the chat probably. Kenvi is the perennial jungle prospect that we have
Yep.
had in North America. And
The GOAT of
I think
Academy.
this matchup is really fun, but also I'm looking at the bot lane because when you have the playstyle that Malice has, and you're going to be full clearing early, mostly for the first two clears, it's important that your laners are able to play around that. You have to have push at the right times and also get waves shoved into you at the right times so that you aren't super vulnerable to dives, to getting picked off in lane. And if C9's had any struggle with that, it's been in the bot lane. And 100 Thieves bot lane, it's these two guys first split in Academy, but they've been 2v2ing everyone that they've gone up against. So I want to see if 100 Thieves bot lane can maybe break C9, and I want to see Kenvi versus Malice. This matchup's chock full of fun matchups, and I'm really excited to get in the games.
Well, we are ready for that first game of this second series. So, guys, take it away.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to see this one. It is our match of the day easily. Cloud9 Academy taking on 100 Thieves Academy. And with the fact both teams have their full rosters, last time they met, didn't have everyone here. It is exciting to see how these two are going to be able to butt heads, especially because, as expected, Malice is getting hard pinched in the jungle.
Yeah, Mad Magical, have you heard of what taxes are like over in Sweden?
No, I haven't. What are they like?
Well, it's expensive. A lot higher than North America, and 100 Thieves having to pay that Swedish tax going up against Malice, as we have not one, not two, but 3 junglers that have been taken away from Malice. Some of his top performers. The only other jungler that he has played so far in Academy that has been that through the draft, it is in fact the Karthus.
Exactly. That's the one I was looking at immediately. Normally, we've seen it's Evelyn and Karthus permanently banned away from Malice. But here, they're letting him have it. They're saying, here you go. Enjoy playing this if you want to. If you dare to play this into Kenvi. We already know Kenvi is a really good Graves, a really good, not Evelyn, a Kindred player as well that can try to play aggressively into someone like Malice early on.
And Malice pulls a little bit pinch. I would selfishly love to see the Fiddlesticks. I think it's something that actually is pretty good into the Graves, who, of course, is low range, scales with armor, doesn't really have a way to deal with that Crow Storm. Something that C9 might be teasing, but usually, unless it's going to be that blind Udyr, we see Malice take his pick a little bit later in the draft. Aphelios, of course, is up. I would not be surprised they took the Karthus. And
there it is.
So Karthus is now locked in. This tells me the rest of C9, it's going to be solo AP Karthus. So I'm expecting AD champions to get taken, and I want to see 100 Thieves try and prep themselves for that, or maybe ban around it, as pairings like Lucian, pairings like Aurelia are things that are really powerful for C9 now, and 100 Thieves will have to worry about as we move into the next phase of the draft.
So I'm curious still where this Graves is going to end up. We're expected for Gomsu, but there's a reason why I talked about Kenvi. Like, played it a lot in the past.
Could be Jimmy.
This is something. It could be Jimmy. That is
get
possible
real
as well.
crazy, you know.
If we want to get real crazy. But I'm not expecting that. It's Popside that I'm looking at, and I'm really curious to see what Kenvi wants to take into this Karthus. Do you want to play for more an early aggressive style, try to put the Karthus down early, or you want to also compete with the scaling, try to get later into the game, try to see if you can contend against the power a Karthus can bring as the game continues to progress.
And Kenvi, he's throwing down the gauntlet as it's going to be a Kayn for Kenvi. So Kayn's a champion that can match the clear of Karthus, and we're expecting a blue Kayn. Now, we have seen Kenvi play this once before, but it is all about the one-shot potential. And if Kayn is ever able to get on top of Karthus, he dies. If you don't have stopwatch, you're going down. Of course, Karthus can utilize the passive to still get the ult off. And I talked about AD solo laners as we're transitioning. It is going to be that Tryndamere locked in for C9. This can be played by Darshan or Copy. Of course, that clip of Copy diving through 3 turrets was from yesterday, as it was him on the Tryndamere. And this is a really good pick into what 100 Thieves is showing, because it can deal with Kayn, who has to jump on you and try and get away. The slows don't quite connect with the Kayn when he's going over the wall, but that's okay. Tryndamere can at least survive the burst, so it's a target that Kayn doesn't feel good jumping on. And you can also have a good lane matchup into that Graves if they want to send it up top. So already C9 have positioned themselves for this solo AP Karthus. They have one good solo lane. Now let's see if they can find the other, as we're going to have support bands going left, right, and center as 100 Thieves trying to take away some champions they don't want to deal with in that bot lane.
bot lane as well.
Seen
Taking
Aurelia
away
ban?
Jimmy and Rise. I wonder if it's going to be the double up support bans coming in from the side of
Yeah.
Thieves, or if it is going to be the Aurelia as I just covered. But then again, we look at Darshan and what he's played. He'll pull out the Auction.
Yep.
That is something that he has in his inventory. The Chase is still available, something that we tend to see into something like Graves. The Tryndamere that they've already locked in can easily be rotated up to the top side. There's a lot of opportunities for the side of Cloud9. So all they have to do, lock in the Thresh that get completely ignored throughout this entire draft.
Well, two of the counters, or I should say one of the counters to Thresh already banned away, but Busio, for fans that may be here for C9 that don't know about Busio was a challenger level mid laner, and he played in amateur, almost qualified for scouting grounds as a mid laner. He role swapped to support. He can still hit a challenger rank as a mid laner, so he has crazy mechanics. And something that Busio cites as a part of his decision to role swap was finding inspiration and changing the way the bot lane is played. And a lot of that is using his mechanics, like how Keria does, to find different matchups, find different counters that he can play that others can't. We saw Busio do that with the Lux yesterday, and now we're going to see Busio get even crazier as he's pulling out the Pike.
That is one power move coming in from Busio. The Varus Pike bot lane. I will say there's a lot of AD damage on the side of 100 Thieves, but it is definitely new.
So Copy is hovering the Ghost. That tells me that it's going to be a Tryndamere for him. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Darshan take the Auction here, as it is a good matchup into Graves. It's Darshan's most played, and does ensure that you get lane pressure in that top side. Of course, the Tryndamere can be flex top if they want that matchup. It's also good for the Tryndamere. And whoa, we're going to get even crazier, as it's going to be a stat check coming out. That's the big old Scion on the top side. That makes it life a lot harder for Blue Kayn, as Blue Kayn, if Kevy does end up going for that build, which we saw him go Blue Kayn with a Gore Drinker and go into Miramon a second, he only has two good targets in the Karthus, Aphelios, and kind of the Thresh, but that's a support. You can't go on Scion or Tryndamere, and it's a big front line now for King and Copy to rip through in the later stages, not to mention Malice being that solo AP threat that we expected.
I'm also a little worried with the damage, that there isn't that much variety coming in from 100 Thieves.
They got to play fast.
They have to play fast. They have to make sure there is not going to be that scaling that Cloud9 have been relying on their massive successes they've found since bringing in this roster. The 9-3 streak that they are currently on. And with the Scion, that alone makes me worried for 100 Thieves.
And honestly, it feels like a 9-1, because like that 0-2 to Golden Guardians, I know Malice was talking in an interview, like he was sleep deprived. He had to go to the airport and like stay for 15 hours and then fly over and then play scrims, like then play a match. I'm going to give C9 a hall pass on that one. We're giving out a lot of hall passes in Academy.
Wait, that one's worth it, though. That one's definitely understandable.
Yeah, so, I mean, this roster in their last 10 games, they're 9-1. And it's been interesting to see how different teams have a different approach to deal with Malice, because we know what Malice is going to do. He's going to pick something that clears quickly, and he's going to clear the jungle a lot. And it just means that when you're the enemy jungler, you have to make sure that your first move is efficient, because if it isn't, or you make a bad decision at any point in the game, Malice is going to be able to punish, because his pocketbooks are going to be bigger than yours. We've seen that sometimes bite C9 in the butt, but more often than not, 9-1 after that first series with Malice. They've been on fire, and I want to see if 100 Thieves can break it here, because Kennedy's approach to beating Malice, it's a bit different than what we've seen from the other junglers. He's trying to match that clear and match that carry potential that Malice packs when he full clears.
I'm curious to see how this is really going to unfold. People can't see it yet. We can see the keystones that have been picked up, and I see a double first strike on the side of 100 Thieves. So as we get ready for our second series of the day, this is week 5, day 2. It is going to be exciting. Kayn versus Karthus. We got a Pike for Busio. There is so much to be hyped for in this game.
I think the big story as we dive into this one is 100 Thieves have to play quickly, because if Copy is able to get into a side lane, he has that Karthus ult to support him. No one can deal with a Tryndamere on the side of 100 Thieves. So it's really going to be about Busio trying to get out onto the map early, make some early plays with Pike, and try and punish this Tryndamere before he hits 6, because if a turret falls in favor of C9, if they're able to rotate their bot lane mid and then take advantage of this Tryndamere in a side lane and play towards that, Copy's going to win every single 1v1 on this map. And he even has the Karthus ult to support him in his back pocket. So I think it's really going to put an early emphasis on 100 Thieves. We're going to have to see if that bot lane that's been 2v2ing everyone can take down King and Isles. Because there has been a weak point of C9, it is their bot lane. And that's somewhat expected, given the fact that King is not scrimming. But still, I think it's where 100 Thieves have the potential to break this one open.
Cubby, I'm a bit ignorant on this. But I'm looking, like I said, I'm looking at the Keystones. I look at 100 Thieves. The double first strike, one for Kenvi, one for Jimmy. And Jimmy and I expect, but not necessarily for Kenvi. And then bot lane, the double hail of blades. Even if this is happening right here, I don't expect it to actually mount for a kill. It's just good pressure for copy. But going back to the Keystones, are these normal Keystones that we see?
I would say so on the Victor. We're used to seeing quite a bit of first strike.
Yeah.
Kayn, yes, because as you get into the later stages, it's going to be the blue Kayn with the Gore Drinker is what we expect. Gore Drinker did see some changes on this patch, so we'll see if that still is the call for Kenvi. But you do so much upfront damage. It's the same theory as Karthusar, right? You're just going to use that to farm gold at the right times. And Kenvi, he's going to go into lanes to proc that first strike, get a lot of damage out, farm gold, and then go back to clearing. As we do catch up with the jungle clears this game. It's going to be Malice clearing bot to top that is going to be mirrored by Kenvi, who is also working from his top to bot. And it looks like... I don't expect Malice to make a first move until he's through his second clear. I think it's just the speed race to 6. And surprisingly enough, we might see that match by Kenvi, given he is on this Kayn.
I'd expect to see that as well. You want that Emerald Trespass as much as you want Requiem or Karthus, both to really help to be able to explode one target really efficiently. But all in all, I'm not expecting too much jungle intervention. Unless it's going to be Kenvi possibly invading, or maybe a roam from Busio that helps facilitate some sort of edge. I'm expecting to just see power farming from both sides.
And you can see this mid-lane matchup copy using that ghost early to make things volatile level 1. Is forcing Jimmy to overextend, but Jimmy still able to safely predict that Malice isn't mid, but instead Malice actually wrapping around on the Gamsu top. Gamsu might be in trouble.
Dodges away, but there's going to be the
He's in
wall
no
of
man's
pain.
land.
A lot of damage comes in from Gamsu. He might be able to turn this one. It's 1v2. He's got a lot of damage with the shield, forces out the flash. End of the line's not enough. It's first blood from Malice.
Nice move from Malice. Wasn't expecting him to show after that second clear, but Gamsu out of position, properly punished, but we see a quick response coming out from 100 Thieves. Kenvi spotted Malice on the top side, was looking to see if he could pick up any camps. Looks like they don't feel safe enough for the dive, so just going to drop that ward, be able to track Malice on his second clear, will reset himself.
I wasn't even expecting Malice to look for that initially, but he did see that Gamsu was pretty far out.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, this is a pretty easy lane for me to gank. We have enough CC. It was a freebie.
And that's really going to help Darshan, as well as we mentioned. Sion just becomes this giant stat check, giant stat ball that is really difficult for the comp 100 Thieves to deal with, as it's going to be lethality Kayn, most likely lethality Varus as well. How are you ever going to be able to deal with Sion past the 10-minute? Like, once Sion gets 11 or once he gets that first item, it's going to be about ignoring the Sion and trying to go from there.
You hope that he builds lethality. That's what you do. Right there, Busio was able to get a stun, but it's going to be Ignite for Ignite at the moment. The flashes are in from everybody, as King was right on top of Wixie, and Wixie was on top of King. Neither of them were able to get the other support. Alice wants to be able to get into this one. He wants that free kill, but the flash in from Wixie takes down King, and a lot of damage on Isles. Busio's on the other side, dodging away from the death sentence, and now Malice is in a bad spot. He's able to get the kill with the Skittles. Now he's got to chase away Busio.
This is what we talked about with Wixie and Busio wanting the 2v2. They picked a very aggressive lane, able to make it pay off as Malice forced to show again. Going to slow down his farming a bit. He's actually going to stick around and farm out this wave to crash. So Malice will be pretty accelerated. He has 2 kills, now has 2 waves in his pocket as well. Yeah, he's delaying those jungle timers. Kenvi is actually properly countering as he is on the Raptors. Could move to the Krugs afterwards as well if he wanted to. And this is going to force Malice to actually just start the Dragons. So we actually see a trade where Malice sacrificing a bit of himself to help out his team, make sure his team's in good shape. I do like this response from Malice, as was able to pick up a kill on the bot side, make sure his bot lane's wave got fixed, gets a dragon. But this does mean that Kenvi, in that 1v1 matchup, is getting ahead of the curve.
He's denying a lot from Malice, a lot of that experience that he kind of needs to make sure that he can get level 6. Even if Malice is able to get 2 kills, a good look for Karthus. He still has to contend against Kenvi on the other side. I'm waiting to see when Kenvi pulls the trigger on the fight, the 1v1 against the Karthus.
And we can see that serrated Dirk into the tier. I'm curious, because last time we saw Kenvi play this, it was the Gore Drinker first, but we did see Gore Drinker have some changes. I'm wondering if it's going to be an Eclipse now, as that might be an adaptation on 12.3.
That's what I was wondering.
We don't see a ton of Kane. So this is a bit of a science experiment as much for myself as it is for the people watching at home. But that is what I expect to see out of Kenvi. And it just further indexes 100 Thieves into this early game priority and making sure they get leads early. And the fact that the gold is even, I think that means that already 100 Thieves see themselves somewhat falling behind. And I want to see if they can make a good bot lane play to get Busio out of lane and see if it can go impact the other ones. But even if that's the case, it's so tough to impact a lane of Trinimir and Sion.
Now here's Malice back in the bot lane. They got a cleanse from Wixie, but the pull is already there. They can easily set this up for Malice, but they just give a king a kill instead. And Busio now in trouble. Has to dodge away from as many Skittles as possible, but here comes the rainbow. Requiem, is it enough? Yes, it is.
Good move from Malice. 100 Thieves going for that raw 2v2. They had summoners down. Malice revisits as that wave is shoving out. Really nice play from Malice. He continues to funnel himself now 3-0-1 on this Karthus.
Wow.
And not only has he been able to make sure that he's getting fed, but he's participated in every single kill for C9 so far. It's been a great start to the game from Malice.
I hate to say this because we're only 7.5 minutes into the game, but is this a GG go next? Karthus is 3-0. Sion's already built a Bramble Vest. Things ain't looking so hot.
It's going to be really tough for the Thieves. They cannot break that Sion lane, and this Trinimir too. It's going to be in good shape as now King.
King's in a bad spot. He's killed off pretty easily there by Wixie. That does help. You got to continue this though, 100 Thieves.
Yeah,
if you want to win this, but for Cloud9, that's still not the worst thing. You lost King, whatever. As long as you keep the gold funneled into your Karthus, you have a good state in mid lane too. Things aren't looking too terrible.
And I think that the hope for the Thieves is maybe they can make a play around this Rift Herald. Or things get really hard for 100 Thieves is once Copy and Darshan are the two ones in the side lanes, because they are not going to be able to move them, especially Copy, and especially given Malice will have that ult in the back pocket now. C9 are on a reset, and Kenvi will take the Rift Herald during this, so this is pretty free for the side of 100 Thieves. Good map movement from them. You can see Busio hovering. Not even really needed, but he has nothing to do in the bot lane. His Wixie's on reset too, and 100 Thieves can maybe use this to try and pressure, maybe try and break mid if they want to keep on using this mid lane priority. I think that's going to be the real out for 100 Thieves. Take this mid outer, and then try and attack Malice and his camps in the jungle.
Chaos Storm used by Jimian, hoping that he can force out Copy from this mid lane. But unfortunately, they don't have that position from Kenvi to drop the eye in mid lane. Instead, they have to look elsewhere. They have to look at the spot lane, since there's a lot of pressure, a lot of minions crashing into their tier 1 and a plate taken by King.
Yeah, and one Skittle, and Busio's already at half health. So Malice will heal up, and Malice...
He's got Ludens, man!
He
what
is
do you
sticking
expect?
around. The flashes are back for this 100 Thieves Academy bot lane. Let's see if they check this brush with a Q.
100 Thieves, just leave.
Check it. No, check it. Just
don't leave.
It.
Don't. Okay. Hook goes wide. They now know that was being... Wait, Malice has it. That's a flash in with the Flay, and Kenvi, even if he's behind, they're not connecting those skill shots they needed to keep the fight going.
Good sidestep from Isles as 100 Thieves, they at least waited for Kenvi to hover bot before they walked up. Good play from the Young Academy bot lane, but still no fruit. Malice can go back to his camps, keep on clearing. Part of the reason he was hovering, he only had the Gromp up, so some free time for Malice. One of the things that happens when you clear this quickly in the jungle, you usually have gaps where you can make plays before the camps come back up. That's kind of what Malice is trying to hit in the game every single time, and that's when this strategy becomes incredibly efficient. Once you get to the point that you clear camps so fast, you have free time to make responses or attack elsewhere.
Already seeing a lot of damage from Malice. Ludens Tempest built quite some time ago, has 5 stacks on that Dark Steel, and they can make a play mid lane. Jimian puts down the gravity well, but there's the Wall of Pain, bringing the Wall of Pain to Jimian's face.
And Jimian's at half health with 2 Skittles, as Kenvi now here to hover. Copy Malice trying to look for the second dragon already. Now this will be spotted out. Busio's on the move.
Stun connects only onto
Nice.
one. Malice was able to flash away. Not going to get the pull back in. Instead, Ken goes deep and pulled back in with his own death sentence. There's the Umbral Trespass. But is that enough damage to be able to kill Malice? I don't think so. It's going to take Force to be able to take him down. And now the Requiem is going to come out and sing the praises that they need. They already had a double kill. Go over on the side of Copy.
And Malice with the react flash that got Busio out of the setup that he was trying to do. That flash early ensures that C9 can turn this play around. Shout out to Isles. Honorary mention on the Lantern as there is no smite. Wixie. Ooh. All right.
That was close.
That was close.
That was
But
close.
second Dragon goes over to C9. They're ahead in gold. They're ahead of the game pace. We get a replay. Look at Malice. He knows that once Busio's not in range, he can react flash. And that, given the Lantern that gets Copy out too, they get to play into the choke. Yes, Malice ends up getting traded out, but it doesn't matter, right? He is still able to press R. They're fighting on Karthus being dead. They turn the play on 100 Thieves, and 100 Thieves continue to fall behind against a comp that is not going to get easier to go up against as this game goes on.
Well, that's the whole thing with Karthus. It doesn't matter how many times you die, as long as you can kill everyone else on the other side as well.
You know, you might argue that it's actually efficient to die on Karthus.
Yeah. Have you ever played him in ARAM? All you have to do is snowball in, dive under turret every single time, and you will still kill them all.
I'm glad we're using ARAMs to justify our play here in Academy as...
Look, ARAMs let you practice team fights over and over. It doesn't help you in any other regard, but it helps you with that at least.
Helps with the mental, Mad Magical, as... See if C9...
If you mean by making me mental, then yes, you're right. But speaking of making me mental, being a hull breaker in the top lane for Gomstu, I don't know how that's really going to be able to help him into Darshan, but he's built it anyways.
It's good in the 1v1. It's an incredibly efficient item right now. I think we saw a jungle Rek'Sai.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Build it in
the only
LCK.
problem I have,
That's a
how
problem.
does that help him break this lane against Darshan?
Oh, it doesn't. But it makes sure that he can stay in it. Sion's just that big.
He was going to be able to stay in it regardless.
Well, we'll see if an LDR second or might help. I usually we're gonna see Gamsu most likely go for secondary. Now the real interesting strat is I think on Graves we're starting to see Surdy built Eclipse yesterday. We're actually starting to see Gore Drinker on Graves here and there.
That is true.
And Gamsu.
Nice.
Speaking of the Graves,
but here comes Requiem, and this is what happens when you have a Karthus on the other side. You always will get kill participation so long as you can use that ult and Copy now on a killing spree.
That was played well by Gamsu, but just too much as Busio, they're looking for a return bot.
That's a lot of damage on a Busio before Kenby's able to show up with his own Prowler's Claw to look for that damage on the King. Moonlight Vigil gets the stun, but it's already a kill for Wixie. Now the flash in on top of Isles, who goes golden to survive, but a piercing arrow pierces right through him for a double kill.
Okay, so 100 Thieves at least able to turn it bot, and Copy, or I should say Jimmy does get some free time mid on the Victor, but it's still C9 making the proactive plays, winning out on the map. Copy's going to take that first brick on the top side, doesn't get that final play, but that doesn't matter.
Ooh.
Now, we'll be traded out for the mid outer, as we are going to get a replay at what just happened bot lane, as Busio face checking Isles, a good one shot coming out from C9, as they are at least able to trade one back. And C9 getting a little bit aggressive there, not respecting that they just showed two on the top side. 100 Thieves were able to punish back as we get back to live. That mid outer is gone, and I want to see if Busio and 100 Thieves can try and snowball, because Blue Kane's now on the table. It is a Predator's Claw for the Kane, so this is all about the one shot. And they have to do it by getting mid prio and trying to find Malice on camps. I think that's really the only win condition that 100 Thieves have left. They want to try and get back in this game and turn it in their favor.
There's a lot of interesting developments that happened right after that play. A lot of items now built up for both sides. Most mythics are now in the inventories of every single member outside of Gomsu and at the two supports. So I'm looking to see how either team's really going to be able to play around the next fights, especially looking at Kenvi, as you talked about, Blue, Prowler's Claw. Well, that's a lot for this Kane to try to burst down a single solitary member, but when can he ever get near someone important enough to actually burst?
And as we brought up in the draft, it's really only two good targets for Kenvi. Malice and King are what Kenvi has his sights on. And if Kenvi's not able to find one of those two, then it's going to be even harder for 100 Thieves. Their only late game insurance really is going to be Jimmy on this Victor, but given where C9's at this point in the game, it's going to be a while before Victor's going to become relevant. And C9 do have a lot of tools to deal with it with the dive of Trinimir and Sion. Not going to be easy for Victor.
Not at all, especially because you have a lot of damage that is going to be brought by Malice, by King, even Copy when he dives
Man.
deep down into the back line.
This top
of
lane
100
matchup
Thieves.
looks fun.
Yeah, yeah.
That looks really enjoyable to look at. We should only look at that matchup for the rest of this game.
Okay, observers, can we get back to the top lane? Please? Who cares
please
about
no.
this? What do you mean? Oh, nice dodge from Kenby.
One Skittle brings Busio to half HP.
Jesus.
As-
He's got a needlessly... One Skittle nearly brought Kenby to half.
Yeah, Malice is solo AP Karthus, man. You just go full glass cannon. No one is able to build magic resist or else you can't deal with the rest. And you can see Kenby also struggling. That's full combo on the Darshan, and I think he lost half it, or, you know, half a sliver.
Half. Yeah, very little. While Malice solos out the Hextech Dragon, the third one of the game for the side of C9. One away from the soul already, just shy of the 17-minute mark.
And C9, their draft and game plan around it, this is when I like this style for C9 and also just any team. When, if you want to play a jungler where you're going to full clear, it really is on your team, especially the soul lanes, to make sure that it's played out correctly. I must pause, because speaking of the soul lane.
Brian J-Man, he's got an Everfrost. He missed, but it's still Copy. He's now stunned up by the gravity well, taking a lot of damage. Has Undying Rage. Hasn't even popped.
Kenby's here.
There it is. Finally popping it. There's a lot of people here. There's a lantern thrown out by Isles. They're doing their damnedest to be able to protect Copy, but here comes Requiem on the other side as Isles pulls back in. Kenby Umbral Trespass on top of Isles. Gets a lot of damage. Has to be careful, though, with the turret now focused onto him. It's going to be Busio's turn underneath the turret with a lot of damage. Wixie takes his own kill. Unstoppable. 2 dead on the side of Cloud9.
Okay, well played by the Thieves. Copy goes for a play that he shouldn't have been going for. 100 Thieves are able to rotate, punish back, at least even up this game in terms of gold. And there's no punish for C9. So much needed play for 100 Thieves. Still a difficult game for them to get back into, but a nice punish on the overextension from C9.
I do like that. This is showing a lot for 100 Thieves that they can play around still. Even here, Malice is pretty far up, but that damage coming in from these Skittles, man. They're insane here. And they're even forcing away Gamsu. Needed one more Skittle to connect, but unfortunately wasn't in range. Instead, it's going to be Darshan flashing away. Blast cones over the wall.
Okay, so 100 Thieves, they keep things volatile. They get a flash out of the Scion. And the big thing, they just got a couple flashes. You can see the flash on Isles and Darshan is down. So we are going to get a replay of this play. Yeah, Malice is really fed. That's...
Yeah, just a bit.
That's a bit of damage on the solo magic damage Karthus. Jimmy at least able to pick up the flash from Darshan, but 400 Thieves. There are flashes that are now down on C9 that they can try and punish. Keep in mind, this is more of a pick style comp. They're trying to land those chains of corruptions, chain it with Busio and the Pyke, and try and get kills from there. Let this Pyke snowball through a team fight. At least they have a couple sums they can try and punish that are down. I know they utilize a couple of their own flashes in Wixie and Kenby, so those members will have to be careful in the next team fight, but this at least gives 100 Thieves some much-needed direction for their pick comp.
The only problem that I foresee for them in the immediate future is going to be in about 2.5 minutes. The next dragon spawns. Goal point up for Cloud9. All they have to do is secure that, and we've seen how fast Malice can take down those dragons. Unless 100 Thieves can mount a defense around that and force out a lot of these plays for Cloud9, it's going to be easily taken. Here, Darshan in a little bit of trouble. Blocked of the unstoppable onslaught to get away with an Umbral Trespass. Finally dies. Do that nice death from below coming in from Busio.
2-8 to start that Rift Herald is about to despawn from the Rift, but 100 Thieves, they are able to punish that one flash being down. This will be traded out on the flip side as Kenby able to pick up this bot outer turret. And both teams just still posturing over this big dragon fight. That's really what we're prepping for next, Mad Magical, as a $140 away from that objective being on the table. If C9 get a Hextech Soul, this game's over. It's already a difficult game for 100 Thieves to come back in, but that certainly has to be the thing that breaks the camel's back, as man, having these slows connect for Copy, for Karthus could be very deadly, as Copy at least going to get his recall delayed. And both teams should be 100 Thieves getting priority over this bot river first. We'll see if C9 can recover and how.
At the moment, Busio setting up a bit of vision control in preparation for that dragon. Everyone is now resetting. Darshan doesn't have TP. He's had to get back to top lane. But all he's doing is trying to keep Gamsu towards his side of the map. Make sure there's not going to be that grouping of the members of 100 Thieves.
Looks like it's going to be the shield bow for Gamsu, so not adapting some of the new tech. I know we saw a couple Gore Drinker and Eclipse Graves. And curiously, actually look at the top right of your screen here. Darshan, he has Spellbook, has Smite. So C9's going into this objective with double Smite, as if they weren't strong enough already. And you can look at Darshan. He's just straight up walking into the wave, man.
Right.
He knows he can't be touched as Kenvi.
Envy is posturing like he wanted to fight. Copy still in the bot lane. 5v4 at the moment. He's trying to win his way towards the team. Without the pull from that Bone Skewer connecting out of Busio,
Oh, look at the
Thieves
toggle.
have to be very cautious.
I love this angle from Copy, threatening this wall. 100 Thieves, Kenvi's kind of hugging this, but don't have it spotted. Busio will connect with the ward. Copy goes back to the wave. And C9, they're going to be A-okay to fight this. As Kenvi...
Ooh, that's a lot of
That's an
damage
ult,
coming
though.
in from Kenvi. Ult for ult at the moment.
Yeah.
Copy takes him down. With the dragon now spawning, Requiem used to get a lot of damage immediately
Oh.
onto the members of 100 Thieves so they can re-engage this fight on the other side. Jimmy N getting focused away by Darshan. Even with the Chaos Storm of Bruin, it's only doing
He's too
pits of
tanky.
damage to Darshan. Way too damn tanky. The dragon is up. The fight could be there
That's
from
one
100
smite.
Thieves, but they don't have a smite. That's going to be secured by Copy instead of any other member. And with the
Oh.
pull onto Gomsu, he is dead. Gifted over to King. The flash is in now, chasing down the rest of the members of 100 Thieves. Copy still got a lot of health left on him, but the death from below will at least take him down to the grave with other members.
And C9, all the plays they made early with this comp that scales into the game, it's paid off now, as that's a Hextech soul secured by Malice. And C9, this bot lane, yes, they were punished a little bit, but it was never enough to get Dragon priority in the hands of 100 Thieves. And we have a replay, gonna take a second look. The goal here is to trade ult for ult, and then when Trinimir's ult has expired, to try and land a Pike ult. But Busio was never able to get in range. Malice just retreats, casts R, and 100 Thieves have to fight this team fight 4v5 with everyone at half health in front of the Soul. There's no way that C9 is going to lose that team fight, and they clean it up easily as 100 Thieves just weren't able to hit their early playmaking tools, weren't able to connect against C9, and C9 now able to punish on the back half.
Plus, continuing to scale up into this game. 4-2-7 on Malice. Kenvi attempts another play. This time it is onto Malice, but his damage is not enough to take down the opposing jungler.
See Busio can be looking to sync up, looking to try and return that kill, but he's never able to get in range of the Bone Skewer. Busio now going to have to chill, and Darshan, he's looking to push tempo.
Choo-choo. There he goes. Look at him. He's just like, sure, yeah, whatever. I can take this sword for days. I'm just stunned up forever. Doesn't matter. We got a pull. Dimian's got to go back towards the turret. Copy is even threatening a potential dive with the
No
Requiem
way.
coming in.
No way.
Oh,
Oh
my
my God.
God!
Oh my goodness, plus 189 per Malice. That's Wixie just disappears. Malice. Oh man, I felt that Requiem all the way from Sweden as Wixie now taken off the table. TP for Darshan. He might go down, but it will be Baron going over to the C9.
It's taken him about a year to kill
he's got a
Darshan.
lantern. We're
The
good.
lantern out. Can't kill him. And they take so much damage from Malice. With the attempted fight from 100 Thieves, they get the kill onto Malice, but again, he's got a zombie for him. He can easily get the Skittles onto
Copy.
Kenvi and look for Busio as well for a kill for Copy. Collateral damage does no damage out of Gomsu.
Oh man, this game from C9 has been clinical. And even Malice, I mean, 3 bans thrown at him, blinds the Karthus, allows 100 Thieves to respond. And 100 Thieves, man, they were trying to beat C9 with this full lethality team. You got to hit those spikes early. Malice made 2 successful moves to make sure the 100 Thieves can never get off the ground. And now we're just waiting for the inevitable, it feels like, Mad Magical. The only chance the 100 Thieves had to get back in this one, Elder Flip. And I don't know of a game state where C9 can allow for them to flip the Elder.
Yeah,
But it is Academy. We have been surprised before.
They could bear Elder Flip, but Malice has just got his 3rd item completed, a death cap.
Yep.
I'm wondering if he can just 100-0 Wixie at this point.
That'd be fun.
I think he can.
That'd be fun. Yeah, I'm here for that. 100 Thieves, they're going to be forced to spec stopwatches, but don't think they're going to have the room to get them as... That's, I mean, really the only way they can deal with the Karthus ult as Copy will get...
Envy, you tried this once. It didn't work last time. You tried it twice, still didn't work. And here comes that Requiem,
Man.
nearly one-shotting
Oh, my
Busio and
goodness.
Wixie. It was so close to being able to get that. But honestly, all it needs to do is get 100 Thieves away from any turrets so they can bulldoze them down.
Yeah, 100 Thieves, they know that this game is not in reach. So they're going for some crazy stuff, not able to make it work, and it's now getting punished on the flip side. Darshan going to get the ult out of the graves. Turrets falling everywhere to the Baroned up C9. And C9 continues to go on cruise control as since Malice joined. Looking to go 10-3 since he hopped in with Darshan and Isles. And also 10-1 since that first series where that team had 1 day of scrims. So the ability of this team to come together quickly and really play their own style, execute it well on the Academy stage, this is something that it's been a long time since we've seen something like this in Academy.
Well, the thing is, you can look at any one of these players right now for Cloud9. They're all looking so good. Darshan there with the engage, playing the Sank onto Gomstu, making sure they can pull him back in for Malice to get his 8th kill of this game.
And you can see how difficult it is for 100 Thieves to defend against this. Oh, okay.
Just keep going, just keep going.
It's that kind of game. Yep.
It's that kind of game.
Okay, King get the one shot on the Kenvi. The Kane did not end up paying off. 100 Thieves gonna look to defend this base, but we're just gonna have to see how much damage these Skittles do. Oh, yep, okay, that's one.
My God.
That's over half.
That's one
That's a
Skittle
lot.
nearly killing Busio.
Press
Alice
R,
is like,
press
yeah, you
R,
can
press
kill me.
R.
I think he just would rather die and then press oil. Look at this, as he's smoking. Bye, Jimian. Bye, Busio too. There he goes. He's dead. It's Jimian who survives with Darshan underneath the fountain, nearly taking down Jimian. He's chasing him all the way back. But they gotta wait for the minions for Cloud9 to be able to end this game. They're having a little bit of fun with their food as Wixie now looks like Copy's about to chase him down underneath the Nexus. He's got the kill, got 1, got 2, gets a double kill with Undying Rage. Gomstu's gonna be the next one, but he's not able to take him down. Finally, Kenvi gets his own shutdown.
So C9, maybe not on the same page there. We'll have to retreat. Elder coming onto the table in 10 seconds.
Copy, timeout.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're not on the same page because they don't have to be. It doesn't matter anymore.
It's true.
This game has been over since 7.5 minutes.
Well, you know, the Hail Mary flip Elder. That's the last hope.
They'd have to get like 3 Elders for that to matter.
I've seen the Elder do some crazy things, but no, this game should be in the pockets of C9. Malice. Honestly, all C9 has to do is wait for Malice to get his ult back, and then he just presses R, and that Elder's theirs. But I think, yeah, they're going to go ahead of that.
Skittle.
Still should be there.
So many Skittles. Kenvi. He's 3 levels down Malice. You're not going to kill anybody here. You can see even Darshan is able to play up towards him. He's the one now looking for the pick. There ain't no flip there when they can easily zone off Kenvi. Busio now on the run, but Darshan. I love that.
He's having some fun as.
Wait. Watch. Oh. 1. 2.
The one shot on the Elder. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, I've had fun this game, man. Magical. I hope everyone at home has as well. C9 having a little bit more fun than 100 Thieves as they're looking to clean up this first game.
Dive him. Come on. Darshan, you're tanky. Go dive him. At least Malice got the picture. At least Malice knew what the script was. Go for the kills inside of the fountain. End this game with styles just shy of the 30-minute mark. They can even get one more the moment Kenvi spawned. That was domination out of Cloud9. They want one more. Bada bing, bada boom. There they go.
Hey, you know, it was a 29-minute game. They needed 29 kills. I can't fault C9 for that. As holy cow, C9. 3 bans at Malice, not enough. As that, dude, that card assault's gonna be on Reddit. Please, someone, you gotta clip that. As that was just one ult with the Elder, 2 kills from 1 button. That is some gameplay right there.
I don't even know how to break down that game. Like I said it in the game, it was over at 7.5 minutes. When you have Malice 3-0 on Karthus,
it's tough.
Right out the gates, what can you really do?
I don't know. Buy stopwatch.
We saw what happened when they bought stopwatches. It didn't matter.
Hope he doesn't press R more.
That's what I'm saying. It didn't matter.
Yeah, it's been exciting, you know, having Malice and C9, bringing a lot of fandom and a lot of looks to Academy. And Also, I think one of the cool parts about C9 is obviously, having LS as a coach. They really set the expectation early in the season where they're going to use internal scrims to make sure that their LCS team's good to go, and their goal is to do the best at Worlds. And I think that in terms of the internal scrims, we can really see that shining. We knew that Malice was kind of going to play this way, but the fact that they are able to utilize this between both their Academy and LCS roster, go in-house, figure out a style that works for them, figure out a style they feel like they can win the most games with and get the most out of their players. It's been paying off for C9 in this early season, and we're still waiting for a team to be able to consistently break the game plans they are putting to the table because we haven't seen it yet in Academy. We're still looking for answers.
Yeah, well, one lesson we've learned, ban Karthus. Definitely needs to be benched in the next game. But for now, we're going to toss a break. When we come back, we'll have our lovely host, Mazel, back with us. So make sure you stay.